After dozens of sailings in the region, we thought we'd seen just about everything Alaska had to offer. Then MSC Cruises did something we never expected. They took one of the oldest ships in their fleet, built an entirely new MSC Yacht Club inside it, and sent it to the last frontier. So, did it work? In a week's time, we experienced butler-delivered hot chocolate, while glaciers crashed into the sea, an enormous private suite, a spectacular new observation lounge, and one of the most extensive ship transformations we've seen in years. But did those changes actually make Alaska better? Let's find out. I'm Jason, and together with my wife Heidi, we've sailed more than 250 cruises.
Here on Popular Cruising, we help you discover which voyages are truly worth your time and money. From this moment forward, my husband's cruise experience would be very different from everyone else's, because coveted MSC Yacht Club perks begin with a warm welcome at the shoreside terminal, followed by a butler escort on board. Embarkation is often the most hectic part of a cruise vacation, so the Yacht Club aims to remove as much of that stress as possible. One of the things that sets MSC Yacht Club apart isn't just the private spaces on board, it's that the experience begins before you even step onto the ship.
Once on board, venues exclusive to guests therein awaited our arrival, including the Topsail Lounge, where my mother and I viewed our sail away from Seattle, Washington, where not only did the famed Space Needle and majestic Mount Rainier wave us goodbye, but so too did a bald eagle in the closest proximity to a ship that we had ever seen. Following my father recently passing away, we believe this to be his heavenly presence soaring right along next to us.
And pretty cool that he greeted you guys in spirit at such an expansive balcony for entering Alaska at that. Speaking of your MSC Yacht Club 2-room grand suite, the line created this fresh cabin category by combining existing balcony staterooms during the ship's latest refurbishment. But was the result simply larger, or did it actually feel like luxury accommodations?
Well, given how spoiled my mom and I were from the living room, and its delicious room service pizza, to an abundance of storage, much more than we even needed, I would certainly say yes. This half of the suite had its own closet plus stocked pantry cabinet, with a safe and bonus cubbies. In addition to open shelving above a complimentary coffee maker, an equally filled fruit basket, mini fridge including choice of alcohol, and a full vanity area, where a neat MSC Yacht Club branded microfiber cloth was even gifted to clean my sunglasses. But as I said, that was only one half of the suite, since past the bathroom was a whole separate bedroom as well. And suffice it to say, it is most confidently teddy bear approved, thanks in large part to USB-A and USB-C charging ports at both evening turn-down nightstands, complete with their own pull-out drawers.
Since Alaska cruises tend to require bulkier clothing, jackets, boots, rain gear, essentially all the layers, a walk-in closet like this becomes much more valuable than it would on a warm weather itinerary.
But if you're anything like Heidi and her adorable, albeit sizable wardrobe, one could probably fill it, and these hooks up in the Caribbean too.
Ooh, and now look at this luxurious bathroom.
For its overall space and function, I would agree with the luxuries, especially the spacious shower. But curiously, on our fresh from dry dock sailing, the enclosure was missing all toiletry shelving, requiring a makeshift solution to holding shampoos and soaps until these temporarily filled holes can support more hardware, in addition to already premium Hansgrohe fixtures. And of course you can't go wrong with the plentiful storage elsewhere. When you're ready for your own MSC Yacht Club cruise in Alaska, we recommend booking through our sponsor, Fairy Godmother Travel, who will magically take care of all your trip planning absolutely for free. To get your complimentary quote, just click the link right here, or follow the website, phone number, or email address below.
One of the more interesting additions to MSC Poesia's Yacht Club is this brand new Sundeck, displacing the former Top 16 exclusive solarium to the stern. On most itineraries, I could easily imagine it becoming one of the busiest places on board, with guests relaxing in the loungers, enjoying the whirlpools, both of which were freshly installed, or simply soaking up the sunshine. Alaska, though, is a different kind of destination. The cooler temperatures and brisk winds mean this space is often quieter than you might expect, but I don't necessarily see that as a drawback. Instead, it serves as a peaceful retreat where you can step outside, breathe in the fresh mountain air, take in the scenery, and enjoy those unforgettable views without competing for space. In many ways, Alaska transforms what would normally be a social sun deck into a much more tranquil experience.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side is the One Bar and Grill, which is equally new to the ship's yacht club offerings. Open for included breakfasts, lunches, and midday meals into the early evening. But as with the Sundeck, al fresco in Alaska is a chillier affair. Nonetheless, the delicious grub here is definitely worth the outing. Ranging from a self-serve salad bar and full-serve carving station, with some of the best roast beef I've ever had, mind you, to additional warm entrees and sides. And while not really posted anywhere, hamburgers can also be grilled up on demand before grabbing a dessert to finish. My mom and I regularly enjoyed lunch here, from aforementioned roast beef and mouth-watering grilled shrimp to bacon cheeseburgers, no less. And I'm always a sucker for banana-based sweets. And views like these directly off the side of the ship were largely the appeal. It should also be noted that there is no elevator access to the Sundeck and grill, but only to a secondary MSC Yacht Club deck one level below, requiring stairs or a chair lift up any higher due to structural limits of the existing ship. Sports fans here will appreciate the oversized screen to watch events on. However, they may be bothered by being downwind from this unfortunate smoking area on the port side, which I suppose is better for at least not being on the upper Sundeck itself. Without a doubt, my favorite part of the yacht club on MSC Poesia, though, is the top sail lounge, particularly in Alaska. It's one destination where a true interior observation venue is a must, and this one being an exclusive makes it all that more special. Just take a look past the concierge desk and lobby to see what I mean, but let's first grab a drink from the attached complimentary bar, and then enjoy these incredible vistas. From comfortable seating properly facing forward rather than inward, as in some lounges that altogether waste the view.
Talk about underappreciating views. Can you believe that this used to be the ship's fitness center? Not to worry though, because the gym has been relocated to a stern-facing scenic area we'll show later, but this is much better use of this prow-facing space, we think. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love to welcome you to the popular cruising family. Please just hit subscribe. And then join us here for a hot chocolate or two.
Or 3 or 4, as the case may be for my mom and I when we were on board. Calories don't count on a cruise, right? These lounge pastries included, as I enjoyed one morning with a latte. That is before a late morning cocktail party with tempting canapes and champagne. For a toast with the officers, a celebration of the ship within a ship complex's butlers, and some entertainment from the vessel's vocalists and yacht club house pianists alike.
Another really nice touch in the MSC Yacht Club is also when the butlers come around with a traveling drink trolley to make a signature cocktail on the spot. But only if it can accompany previously ordered hot chocolates, of course. All while enjoying the talented tickling of the ivories. Play it again, Sam.
Play as time goes by.
Oh, I can't remember it myself. I'm a little rusty on it.
An oddity of the yacht club being carved out of a ship that was not originally built with one is the non-contiguous nature of its venues that are typically next to each other on MSC's newer fleet mates. That's why the top sail lounge is adjacent to the MSC Aurea Spa and Salon, with a newly fitted gentleman's barber and MSC Gym shifting to the stern, themselves altogether replacing the MSC Poesia's previous S32 Disco. But back at the MSC Aurea Spa proper is a series of treatment rooms just off from the salon, some outfitted for couples and others for solo spa aficionados. Yacht Club guests even get a discount when purchasing body treatments such as Sublime Balinese massages. Or better yet, across the way at the Thermal Suite, Yacht Club guests get full complimentary access.
And it just so happens that all of its facilities were completely redesigned during the ship's refit as well. From the relax area to its dedicated indoor whirlpool, perfectly weather sheltered for enjoying Alaskan sights from inside. Or similarly from a scenic dry sauna. Admittedly long ago, spas used to intimidate me, but I am 100% a spa person now, enjoying every last element. But my personal preference extends beyond steam rooms, where dim LED lighting makes them next to impossible to photograph without flickering, instead to the likes of the ship's relaxing salt room.
Actually, I seem to recall you most relishing experience showers. And there they are! Let me guess, while you were filming this, you were thinking, just how can this be replicated in our own home shower, am I right?
Yep, that is indeed correct. But before any of our own remodeling, let's first check out the MSC Yacht Club restaurant, which is the most out of the way from the rest of the club venues, sadly requiring passing through the smoky casino to partake. At least once inside, it is fully enclosed without fumes, but it's also this isolation that means it has no windows to the outside like on MSC's newest ships.
This chamber has no windows and no doors.
Even without vistas, which would be ideal in Alaska, the fare bundled food here is outstanding. Even better than what I remember having in the Yacht Club on the line's latest MSC World America. And the utter deliciousness was true at lunch and at dinner.
And crafting this restaurant wasn't as simple as adding a few tables. MSC completely repurposed the existing sushi bar, card room, and photo studio to make room for a dining venue exclusively for Yacht Club guests, making it one of the most significant changes to the ship. Still, sushi fans have an all-new space dedicated just to them that we will point out a bit later. For now, I'm just gonna imagine eating this cake.
One of the best things about a cruise to Alaska is no longer seeing the destination only televised, but outside and fully in person. And yes, our great MSC Yacht Club butler enhanced the experience further by delivering hot chocolates right to our balcony, that he even doctored up with added chocolate chips and whipped cream for a delightful warming beverage while the beautiful scenery unfolded in the distance. As it turns out, our view is comparable to the captain's, given we were on the same deck as the bridge wing. Having cruised Alaska many times without Yacht Club, I could immediately appreciate the difference. The scenery was every bit as spectacular as I remembered, but the experience between those moments felt noticeably more relaxed. Taking in each and every waterfall as we approached Dawes Glacier, and just the overall magnificence of Alaska on a glorious sunny day, dotted with wildlife along the way. Once we got closer to the face of the glacier, another unique feature of MSC Poesia became apparent. Forward outside decks off the cabin corridors, less often seen on cruise ships these days, made for a perfect shift in perspective to get the best views. And if you train your eye on a series of smaller calving events, they usually predict something bigger is on the way. If you're lucky, sometimes that means something much bigger, in fact. Yeah, Dawes Glacier unquestionably put on quite a show for us during our passage of Endicott Arm, but it was only the start of our excellent Alaska experience on board MSC.
One of the often overlooked Yacht Club benefits is having your butler escort you off the ship. It's a small touch, but it can make busy port days feel more seamless. Admittedly, tender operations did add a delay in Juneau, where Poesia had to anchor offshore and shuttle guests into town. Since this is MSC's first season in Alaska, the line is still establishing itself in ports where berth space has long been spoken for by cruise lines with decades of history.
But with the ship out on the horizon, I was able to better photograph it in all her glory. Before we continued our journey ashore, where regional mainstays like Tracy's Crab Shack and the Merchant's Wharf Mall awaited. There I purchased a new volume from long-standing Hearthside Books to enjoy back on board, after receiving a butler escort again, to expedite our tender return, that is.
The ease of MSC Yacht Club was there every step of the way, including in icy Strait Point, where docking alongside made getting ashore especially simple. This port is particularly known for its great whale watching, but it was actually later while at sea that the spotting of smaller wildlife, much like the glacial calving before, predicted larger animal activity. If you see this many small birds on the surface of the sea, as well as fishing boats in the vicinity, it's a good bet whales are also near. Like these amazing bubble-feeding humpbacks, spouting off and proudly displaying their fins in the process of gathering fish food, while also showing a fluke here and there. But this fellow was content to keep playfully slapping the water to churn up its meal, before one final fluke sighting.
When it was time to leave icy Strait Point behind, it was the aerial gondolas that took us back to the ship, where the Yacht Club was ever ready for us to reboard. Thankfully, more convenient docking was also available in Ketchikan. MSC may make berth a bit farther down on the main pier, but at least it's still right in downtown, versus Ward Cove, where some competitors bus in their guests from 7 miles away. Here we explored classic Creek Street, where I hear its famed funicular up the mountain has reopened. Indeed, after a long duration of inoperability and seeming abandonment, The transport attraction is returned to accept riders for a fee. The great view on the way up to Cape Fox Lodge makes the surcharge worth it in our opinion though. Even if our time at the hotel was brief, we did quickly check out the lobby and a peek at our ship in the distance before my mother and I made the jaunt back down.
I sure do love the quaint shops and diners along Creek Street, and I can't wait to revisit Alaska myself in a coming season. By the way, for fellow fans of the MSC Yacht Club and its Explora Journeys spin-off, the all-inclusive luxury line will be making its own inaugural calls in the region in 2027. But until Explora 3 arrives, the MSC Poesia is a great option in the meantime. A stroll down the cabin corridor from the Yacht Club area illustrates how much of the ship is still unchanged after its dry dock. That is to say, the 2008 launched vessel is somewhat dated, but still charming.
For instance, I really liked how the Atrium has a cool video projection to animate its backdrop. The line architecturally features more in the way of reflective chromes on its newest ships, but the kinetic energy livened up the existing brass accents here. One venue that clearly carries over 1990s design aesthetics, though, is the Zebra Bar, whereas more timeless is the ship's existing aft cabaret lounge. And while the main theater at the front of the ship has also not been modified, it is newly home to Dirty Dancing in concert, as first seen on MSC World America.
Curiously, the wine bar was earmarked to be converted into a fresh all-stars sports bar, but in reality that redesign did not actually occur, at least not yet. But other reconfigurations were completed, such as the installation of a new Butcher's Cut steakhouse now occupying the rearmost section of the existing buffet. Like the scenic stern view afforded to the relocated gym, this specialty dining venue also shares a comparable vista ideal for Alaska. Not to mention meat lovers' cuisine befitting my carnivorous husband.
I mean, bread service does start out with bacon-infused rolls that are as tasty as you can imagine. And I do always appreciate a solid beef carpaccio appetizer, or further upcharge Wagyu equivalents that are most delectable.
Upcharge Wagyu equivalents was my band name in high school.
Or for another added cost, any turf, such as a perfectly marbled ribeye, can surf with a bonus lobster tail. And have I shared just how much I adore a banana dessert yet? As previously mentioned, the existing Kaito Sushi Bar was relocated to make room for the new MSC Yacht Club restaurant. So it now takes up residency in what was previously a cigar room, which is now decidedly not missed. Instead showcasing culinary arts without any secondhand smoke.
As part of a tasting menu, specialty choices here can include edamame ahead of a chef's selection of sashimi, nigiri, and maki. And it's ever a treat to watch the dishes be freshly prepared from the bar itself. And what better way to conclude a marvelous MSC Yacht Club experience retrospective than with a spicy tuna roll and matcha ice cream with one final look at Alaska, of course. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a quick like and subscription really helps us continue creating more content like this. Until next time, thanks for cruising with us.